Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're listening from, watching. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. All my friends here on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I want to also say good morning to our TikTok community here. How's it going with you? How's the weather where you are? Um, it's good to see you this morning. Let me check who's coming in. Hello to everyone there in Detroit. It's become fall. It just really has. It is fall. I was changing the winter things that I have, trying to find them all and putting away some of them cute summer things. I hate to put them away because it's so much fun in the summertime when you have them cute things, but I had to put them all away, start putting them away. And good morning. How are you, Dr. Pierre? And we're going to be recording. Dr. Pierre and I are going to do a session soon, so watch out for that. November or December, we're going to be talking about leadership and all kinds of good things. And in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Oh, low 50s. That's what it is here in Detroit. What is going on? And Sean, how are you? All the way from Madrid, Spain. How are things where you are? It's so good to see all of you this morning. My TikTok friends, hello. I'm saying hi to all of you. How are you doing? Let's, Lordies and Mana and everyone there. How are things going this morning? What's the weather look like? We're going to have a great conversation about careers. So if you're thinking about, hey, Pauline, hey, Flo, Joe, Candy, Barbara, elevated curves. Hey, how y'all doing, Rick and Tay? We're going to talk about careers and reinvention. So if any of you are thinking about changing your careers, or looking for that new job, or within your current job, a promotion, and you're looking for some of the best steps or some things to think about. Yes, I love fall too, Lincoln user. Oh, from Los Angeles. Well, happy Wednesday to you as well. And Kathy and Stacy and Cheryl and Helena and Gladys and Maria and Doris and Sharon. Hello to all of you on TikTok. If I miss your name or don't say, please, it's not due to my heart. Love all of you being here. Let me say a good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. And thank you so much. And listen, any comments or questions that you might have, please put them in the chat. Or hey, Joyce, is that Joyce Brown, my friend? How you doing? Good to see everybody there. So again, hello. Today we're going to explore three essential steps for those of you who are considering a job or profession change because you want to find greater happiness or fulfillment, or you want more money. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed or uncertain about making this change, I want you to know that these feelings are a natural part of any career transition. You know, transitions generally can stir up all kinds of emotions. Believe me, I've been there. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Dr. Geneva, and I reinvented my career many times, running organizations, leading national initiatives. And then in my 60s, made the bold decision to step out of the nonprofit world into my own business. Transition, reinvention. So, and now I help high achievers, especially women leaders like you, navigate the kinds of transitions we're talking about with clarity and confidence. And when I was coming up in my career, there weren't many role models. There weren't places I could go, the internet that I could check out things, networks I could join. And so that's why I have this passion about coming to you as frequently as I can and share the knowledge and the wisdom that picked up, dealt with, learned, made mistakes about in my decades long career and life. And so that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm wanted to join with you today and bring you this information. I wanted to make a real important point that throughout my many career makeovers, I've learned that fear and anxiety does come with them changes, especially when you've built a successful career yet you want to make a change and you're worried or you're anxious about, well, what's going to happen if I step out and do that, even if it's within your own organization and you're looking for upward mobility. But I want you to know that there's also the excitement and empowerment of stepping into something new. Mhm. Just last week, I was talking with a woman leader who had spent 15 years in a very successful corporate role. But despite her achievements and her success, she felt stuck, like she was spinning her wheels and she was questioning whether or not if she were to make a change, whether she had the relevant skills because she had been in this one position for so long. But still, at the same time, she wanted to move. She had this nagging feeling, this longing for doing something more, making a more significant contribution. And she felt this larger sense of purpose. And as we talked and worked through things, she began to realize that her leadership skills, her communication, her project management, working with others, working with difficult people, learning how to manage money and budgets, all of those things were skills that she could use in another field or another career or to move up in whatever it was that she wanted to do. She just had to see her potential differently. So, does any of that resonate with you? In my own journey, after spending decades leading nonprofit organizations, I too found myself in a similar kind of place. I was restless. I really wasn't unfulfilled. I kept saying to myself, is there something more? And I wanted to do it. And so I was ready for something different. Now, I loved being in nonprofitdom. I mean, the transformation that I worked on in communities and neighborhoods and with other people was just phenomenal. So I really loved what I was doing, but I was ready for something different, you know. And I had built multi-million dollar partnerships and raised millions for causes, but deep down, I had them questions about purpose, identity, and the meaning in my life. And so I felt this urge, like perhaps you do, to make a significant career change. And it was exciting to, think about the possibilities, but it also was, I was filled with fear and oftentimes self doubt. And it was overwhelming. But I must tell you, when I made this last leap later in life, when folk were telling me, you can't do it, it's you too old, why don't you go sit somewhere and retire? But in my late 60s, when I made that leap into owning my own business, it turned out to be one of the best, most rewarding decisions in my life, in spite of everything. And that whole process reminded me of what Brene Brown says, who's one of my favorite. And she says you can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you can't choose both. So, listen, if you've been questioning your next steps and wondering if now is the time for some career makeovers, you're in the right place today because I'm going to walk you through 3 key steps to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. And, you know, and if there's anything that you're hearing that gives you value and you feel good about and you want to talk to me some more about this, you can direct message me on LinkedIn or in the chat. You can leave the words next steps and I'll get right back to you. So, we want to talk about the steps, the 3 key steps for career reinvention. But I want to, for a moment, address some of the common challenges, particularly for those of you who are women, that we face when we're considering career renovation. Why? Because if you understand the challenges, you know what to expect, you know what to look for, and it's an easier way to overcome these challenges. So one of the challenges that we face whenever we're looking at some kind of career change is an identity crisis. Many high achievers struggle to redefine their identity during career shifts because you've spent years mastering your role, and now stepping into something new and different can feel like you starting all over. I know I felt I lost myself with after so many years being in the nonprofit world and fighting for and advocating for social causes, and then jumping into the profit world, running my own business. I felt I was at a crisis point that I just had to change myself and who was I and the whole bit. So that's one of the challenges that you're probably going to face. Another is balancing the expectations, because probably right now you're managing multiple responsibilities, family, your personal stuff, and then now you're thinking about changing careers. So sometimes that whole process can feel overwhelming. Okay, but it's going to be all right. The third is that you might be questioning your relevance in terms of skills, whether or not you have the right skills, whether or not your skills are current, particularly if you're thinking about going into a new field. Now, I want to tell you, trust me, again, your skills, whatever you've picked up, if it's strategic planning, strategic thinking, leadership, problem solving, these are highly transferable and they don't have to be industry specific. Another challenge that I'll mention is that despite all we've achieved, you may struggle with self-doubt. That imposter syndrome might creep up, whether, challenging you and having you question whether or not you know, belong in a new space. And like I was sharing with you earlier about the CEO in the corporate world who had been in her position for a long, long time and wanted to move, that was the question that she kind of had, that she had been in this spot for so long. She didn't know if she was qualified for anything else. She had doubts whether or not her skills were relevant. But I'm telling you that once you think about and focus on what you have going for you, because you do, you need to see those skills and talents that you have in a new light. It needs to become clear to you. And again, I can, if you need some help with that, please let me know. Just drop next steps in the chat. But if you've ever felt this way. If you've ever experienced any of those challenges, don't worry. Let's talk about 3 steps to help you navigate these career changes. So the first essential step as you're navigating a career change is to give yourself permission to change. Isn't that simple? It seems that way. It seems like that's simple, but it's often the hardest. Give yourself permission to change because oftentimes many of us feel guilty or fearful about wanting something new or doing something different. We think, well, why, can I do it? But maybe why change if I'm already successful? But you have to give yourself that permission to make a change. And really, reinvention begins with the belief that wanting more is okay. I want to let that sink in for a minute. Wanting more is okay. So, permitting yourself to change, to make a difference, do that as a first step. Now, here's a tip that I know I've used and I've um, shared with my clients as well. We use this. Consider making a video diary. Now, many of you may be, you love to journal. You do that writing. I love journaling. Don't get me wrong. I love to journal. I also know that this technique of actually picking up your phone and going to the right app, what would it be, whatever it is, a notes app or a video app, your camera app, whatever it is, using the phone to videotape you and speaking into the video, record a message to your future self and tell your future self why you're ready for a change and what you hope to achieve. Okay. Now, this exercise can really help you nail down your commitment to change by visualizing and speaking your intentions. Plus, you're going to have a powerful reminder of your journey to look back on. So, do a video diary, think about it because you want to permit yourself, say it's okay to want more and want that change. The second step that I want to share with you to get ready for your career makeover is to put a spotlight on your core strengths. Okay. So you've got experience and you can't lose it. It's your biggest asset. What you've gained through your years of working, if it's been 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is, you have experience. And what experience is are the skills and the talents and the wisdom that you've uh, gone through, that you've dealt with, and it gives you that experience. So you have skills, and making sure that you understand what those skills are, identify them, and write them down. Be very intentional about this step. Think about your ability to communicate, how you've talked with team members, how you've talked with your supervisors, how you've talked with employees, and your verbal and your written skills. You've practiced it, so you've gained a lot of experience in communicating. That's a skill that can be anywhere, can go anywhere. Whatever it is you want to do, communication is one. You probably be a great problem solver as well in your current position and whatever it is you're doing. Problem solving skills are highly valued. And if you know the basic approaches to solving a problem, which I know you've used, you identify the problem, you do some research and think about the alternatives to that problem. You implement, you carry out some of those alternatives and strategies you've thought about, and then you evaluate what you've done. Those are 4 basic steps to problem solving. And I'm convinced, I absolutely know that in your gig, wherever it is you're doing, you've done that. You've practiced it. You might not have thought about the steps in that kind of intentional way, but those are the steps. So you've developed experiences. You've had situations, you've done things where you've had to apply problem solving skills, for example. Well, I want you to be intentional and think about all of the skills that you've honed and developed and sharpened in what you've done. Those skills are transferable. Now, the key is to frame them and to position them in a way that fits your new direction. Okay. So, how do you do that? Well, one of the ways to do it is to create a skills inventory list to highlight and to spot and to identify your core strengths. And what you do is you write down every task that you've excelled at. So don't start with the skills. Write down everything that you've done, every task that you've done. Just write it down, continue to write it down in both your professional and personal life. Then you step back and you look for patterns or similarities in the things that you've done at your job and in your family that reveal your versatility, that reveal your capabilities. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So if you've, worked on and you helped solve a major problem at work, and then you were in your family, you helped figure out a tough situation. And as you write down all those tasks and activities that you did, you'll see some similarities, and you'll say, I'm a great problem solver, or I'm a fantastic project manager, or et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea, don't you? The point is that you need to be intentional, and how you be intentional is to write down the skill inventory. Trust that taking the time to put a spotlight on your core strengths is an essential step in your career renovation. The third step that I invite you to think about is to create a plan of action. So I believe that reinventing your career, whatever changes you want, whether in your current organization or industry, or whether you're moving into something new or starting a business, but I believe that doing that without a plan is just a dream. And once you've permitted yourself to change and you've identified your core strengths, those transferable skills, the next step you want to do is to create a clear, actionable plan. Because this plan is going to serve as a roadmap, and it'll help you because, again, these transitions oftentimes are emotional. We're uncertain when we're going through this, but this plan with its specifics in it, the goals, the strategies, the thinking about what you want to do, the research that you need to accomplish, et cetera, et cetera. This will help you navigate any uncertainties that you're going through. So creating that plan is important. Well, how do you do it? Well, this weekend, say to yourself, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to create a blueprint or some steps for my new career, my new change. And so you want to focus on some concrete steps. You might want to research where you're thinking about going to, the industry. Of course, Google's there. We got all kinds of information. So do some research. You might want to think about people you want to talk to. So, how you might want to schedule some interviews with folk who have information or can give you some guidance about your next steps, the industry or the career change you're thinking about. Or you may want to enhance your online presence. But what I want you to do is to take some time this weekend and actually write those things out. And remember, if you need any help or guidance in that, I can help you with that. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. So you can direct message me on LinkedIn, or you can put next steps in the chat or in the comments. So those are the three steps that I wanted to share with you. But wait, I got a bonus. I probably should have said that in the beginning so you all wouldn't turn off after I said, here's the three. They tell you to do that. You know, to help keep people there. But I forget that because, I'm so focused on and so much into just giving the information. But I got a bonus one. And here's a bonus step that I invite you to put into your career renovation plans. And that is to prioritize your well being. You may say to me, well, Dr. Geneva, why are we talking about our health and our well-being with careers? Well, let me tell you, changing careers, thinking about transitions in general can be a very emotional journey. And prioritizing self-care by setting aside the times for activities and things you can do that recharge you is important, whether it's mindfulness or taking walks or exercise or even just going on Audible and enjoying a good book, whatever that is. But taking care of your mental and physical health is going to empower you to navigate these changes with some energy and resilience. And that's often what you need when you're going through changing these careers. I know I really had to give, I didn't do it in my earlier days as I was making these moves and getting these promotions and moving up in my organization. But I learned that along the way, as I lost my stamina and my energy and my joy, that I needed to incorporate and make a priority my well being. So it's not just about relaxing, although that's important. Rest is important, rest and relaxing is important. It's also about setting boundaries and permitting yourself to say no. So when we're talking about prioritizing your well-being, think about boundary setting, saying no, and protecting your energy, because that creates the space for you to really find new opportunities and to explore these career renovations that you're going through. Renovations, reinvention, changes. They all the same. You know what I'm saying. So those were the suggestions and steps that I wanted to leave with you. Let me know what you think about them. Hello to everyone. Thank you for your comments and for coming in today. I just really enjoy seeing you, hearing you, my TikTok community. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, if you found value in this conversation or picked up any kind of tips that were helpful for you, let me know. Direct message me on LinkedIn and put next steps in the chat or comments, and I'll get back to you and we can work together on your career makeover, what you want to do in your next steps. Well, it's been a delight to be here with you. I'm going to see you next week, same time. Bye. Have a great one and best of luck to each and every one of you. And I hope you have a fabulous week too. See you. Okay, we got one more comment. Let's get that up. Oh, thank you. All right. We've got a LinkedIn user that's heading out for a self-care walk. I love it to get re-energized. That's right. You need to protect your energy. Thank you, Sean. So good to see you. Bye. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. The comments are still coming in. Thank you, Linda. I'm so pleased to have you here. How you doing, my TikTok community? Love, thank you for joining. I hope you